Hello everybody and welcome back to the Top Flight Computers social media channels. Don't know where this video is going to get published at, so I'm going to leave it a little bit ambiguous for now. My name is Connor. Andrew is my co-presenter. He may be here in a little bit. I do not know. But today we are going to be building the Fear Machine. This is a system designed for gaming, long-term gaming, as well as some aesthetic flair with our RGB fans that we're going to be installing. So this main system, or this system, is going to be mainly centered around the Intel i7-12700K. That's going to be going in our AORUS Z690 AORUS Ultra motherboard. Our big star, especially for gaming, is going to be this GeForce RTX 3090. This is from Asus or Asus, depending on however you would like to pronounce that, because that's still a big debate going on. This is the Tough Gaming Edition. Like I quickly mentioned before, there's going to be a little bit of aesthetic flair to this build. So we're going to be using the Corsair ML120 RGB Elites. We have 6 of them here. They're going to be going inside of our Corsair case, which is sitting right down here, which is our 4000D. And we're going to be powering everything with our EVGA 1000P3. And then cooling our CPU, which I forgot to mention earlier, is our Celsius S36. We're going to go ahead and jump right on in and get started. I forgot RAM and storage. Those are relatively important. So for this build, this is going to be using the Kingston Fury DDR5. This is a 2x16 gig kit, so that's 32 gigabytes total. And for storage, we have 2 NVMe SSDs. One of them is a 1 terabyte, one of them is a 2 terabyte. The 1 terabyte will be our boot, and 2 terabyte will be kind of more mass storage. So as what I always like to do is jump in and start with the motherboard, installing our CPU, RAM, and storage. So with this board, there's a lot of little peely-doos. Not as much as our previous build that we just completed. So if you're watching this back-to-back with the previous upload, this is totally a different day. And Andrew and I are totally wearing different clothes. I'm also going to need a new Intel bracket for these, I think. Uncomfortable amount of pressure on that, and it's installed. Check. I was like, is his mic on?
Nope.
I'm going to double check it.
I turned it off. I have the Teen Titans theme song stuck in my head.
It's an odd one.
Well, I saw it on TikTok earlier today.
That's
Apparently, Starfire is a very common costume this year for Halloween. I could not tell you
why. Yeah, that's one of those where it's like
that and Raven, I guess.
Interesting. I went back and started watching all of Avatar.
That's a good choice.
We're doing a big. I'm going to be running a big D&D campaign off of it.
Oh yeah.
The Avatar RPG just came out actually.
Oh nice.
Well, it was available for pre-order, and then the digital version comes out on like the 26th or something. So.
Cool.
But that is the plan, at least. So I'm like, I need to brush up on my Avatar now.
Oh yeah. Give them some cactus juice to drink. See if they drink it.
What was interesting is, like, going back and watching it again, not being like a kind of a child, if you will.
Debatable, but go on.
Yeah, true. It is just interesting because it's like, man, I was talking to one of my friends and I was like, man, the series really started taking off when Sokka's girlfriend turned into the moon.
Yeah.
I was like, that's where the series like really, and that was the end of season 1.
Yeah.
It was just like, wow.
That was a deep moment.
That was for a kid's show.
That's rough, buddy.
It's rough, buddy. Haven't got to that part yet. That's
classic.
Like season 3, I think.
Yeah, pretty late. I think they're at the Northern Air or Water Temple for that.
That's rough, buddy. These are one of the best SSDs to just be able to kind of shuck them. You could effectively just fold this in half. Pops out. And then you can get your SSD out. Makes life far easier than trying to go through and deal with the dumb packaging. All right. So our CPU is installed, our RAM is installed, and so are our SSDs. So now we got to move on to the bracket for our water cooler. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on into that. Hardware out from here. Mainly our back plate. Face everything off. And
Hello.
yes,
I've returned for
back.
a minute.
30 seconds.
That's all right. Well, I enabled XMP and rebooted, so it's going to take a good 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, true. I feel like you can get away with that more on modern boards now because they're like this one heavily reinforced.
Well, that's because the modern graphics cards are so heavy.
Oh yeah.
They weren't as heavy back then.
I actually just picked up a 960 for my server
Oh yeah.
for $40
Nice.
at a pawn shop, and I'm like, great, and it works. I'm like, that's even better.
Perfect. Was it sold as is, or could you return it if it didn't work?
I returned, and it was even in box, had the box and everything.
Nice.
I was like, that's not a bad deal. I'll pick that up because I was like, I knew I needed one anyway. And I didn't want to risk it on for the biscuit on an eBay one,
Yeah.
you know, or a random sketchy Craigslist thing for $40. It's like,
Yep. Open it.
Yep. So all of these fans have two cables that actually come off of them. One, it goes to the actual motherboard itself to be able to effectively get fan signal, which is that one. And then the other one, which has a yellow tag on it, goes to the RGB hub, which is what this little thing is. So this has to be mounted in a centralized location around in the case so that all the fans can kind of come to that. So that's why RGB gets a little bit more complicated than, say, a normal build, because it just has one fan cable versus where this has two. And the bummer is those two have to go to two different locations at this point. So now you get this kind of confusion of cables, and you can't kind of get your little cable highways kind of created easily. So that's the random factoid of the day. I am going to screw this in with a drill, but you'll hear that noise, and that is because we have the drill set up so that it will slip. That's what that noise is, whenever the screw is tight enough. So it's enough to tighten it in, but it's not enough to strip it out. So you could effectively sit there all day and it's not going to spin anything. But that is the right, effectively torque setting for that drill for these fans. Go ahead and toss on the top ones too while I'm at it. I also like how these fans have the good old callback to the kind of psychedelic stickers on the back of the fan hubs. Not sure what those are. And on the front as well. You see they just get caught up. Lots of cables, but you can see here, and it's all kind of shiny. Oh, you're not in great. There we go. It has on both sides. It's kind of fun. When you're putting in fans, you do want to be careful and be cognizant of the direction of your fan. And if it is facing effectively going to blow air in or pull air in, excuse me, or blow air out. So in this instance, we're going to be pulling air in from the front, exhausting it out the top and the back. So I'm going to install these fans so they're pointing in a direction so that they're actually blowing air out of the case. There we go. All right, so that is those top fans installed. Go ahead and toss that on there. Put some of those fans off to the side, and we'll go ahead and start installing our motherboard. Get that installed. Once we get our motherboard installed, do some probably cable management, that kind of stuff. Lots of cable management, actually. And then go ahead and get our graphics card installed. Then we'll be good, but right now we're currently a little ways from that, so. I love how it just has a big bold letters, power supply. Like,
You got confused.
like, I don't know what this is. All right, power supply is in. And with this case, one of the many things that we've learned over the years, especially since we've used this many a time, is to feed your power supply cables up, excuse me, and through. And these are our CPU power cables. Well, one of them was. One of them was not. All right, so these are our CPU power cables. And when you route them up through here, there's a little space for them, obviously, in the case. Then when we install our motherboard, we can plug those in before we lay it on down. That way you don't have to jam your fingers into the very tight space up there and try to get these plugged in. Trust me, it's not fun. Done it many a time, and it hurts. Usually it hurts, at least. If you have the forethought to be able to do it this way, it's far easier. You can see that took, 10 seconds, not even. There we go. All right, so motherboard is installed. Our CPU power is also installed. I think I probably can start running some of our cables. I'm gonna install this cooler, which is gonna be miserable. So the reason why this is such a kind of pain is you have to put the radiator in and then sandwich all the fans in correctly. And get them all aligned, and then screw them all in. I will say I do like these fans because there's nothing that the radiator can like clip onto, and then you get them snagged behind, and then it gets miserable. All right, there you go. Now the fun begins. I'm trying to get everything aligned. Oh, all right, this is actually going swimmingly.
Great. That was good.
Which is worrisome. Well, no, I was saying at least the radiator install has been. Curious how these fans look, because I have not dealt with these at least. There we go. So CPU cooler is now installed after many screws. Now I'm just plugging in our fans into the CPU cooler. So this CPU cooler, or this AIO, actually already has a built-in fan hub for all of the fans. So it can kind of control, well, the fans that are at least on the radiator. All of our fans are plugged on in, at least in that. Our other fans are plugged in, so now we just have all of the RGB cables to deal with, which is going to be the kind of the next. Actually, I'll install the CPU cooler. That way, it's not just dangling. Got to pop off the old plate and pop on our new one. Oh. All right, CPU cooler is installed. Oh. So our CPU cooler is now installed. Now I'm going to do a lot of cable management. Cable management.
Yeah.
Honestly, for what it was,
Oh.
cable management actually is pretty good.
Yeah.
Just pain,
Yeah.
but pretty good. All right. We got RGB on all of them, and all of them spitting.
Yep.
Solid.
And the bubbles.
Yep. The RGB.
Yeah. They look pretty good, right?
Yeah, I actually do like them.
It's to me the RGB seems more uniform than on it.
I agree.
The whole blades.
So this has been the Fear Machine. We hope that you have enjoyed this wonderful little broadcast. Hopefully it was not too boring. Feel free to subscribe or like or follow. I don't know where this is going to be posted, so one of those things, insert title here. Follow us on Facebook and on our website, topflightpc.com, if you want to see finished photos of this and many more. If any pique your interest, scroll on down. There's a interest form at the bottom, and Chris, who is not here today, will most likely reach out and say hi and attempt to sell you a computer. So beware on that. But if that is what you're interested in, head on over there. If you're interested in following more of our builds, wherever this is posted, there will be more. There were ones in the past if you want to go watch that content.
Yeah.
And that's about it. So we'll see you later. Goodbye.